Now we're going to set up our Google AdWords pre-roll campaign. This is also known as Instream for YouTube. And this is the best type of ad that YouTube has to offer. There's 3 different types. We're going to focus on this. This is the most highly regarded based on what I've read and seen. And it'll get you the best exposure. So this is going to be accessed through your AdWords campaign. If you don't have an AdWords account yet, you can go to adwords.google.com and set up your account and your billing. And once that's ready to go, your next step is to go to this link here, adwords.google.com/video, and click enter. And you'll be taken to the TrueView platform, which is what we're looking at right here. Now I'm going to walk you through setting up campaign, and in another video I'll dig into how ours have been performing and little changes and things that I've done. But this is just the simple overview of getting yourself set up with a TrueView campaign. Once your video is created, of course. And so make sure you have your video link ready. Make sure that you have your landing page link ready as you're doing this. So what we'll do is we'll click the campaign button here. I'm going to call this our test. You can name this whatever you want. As you can see, I have different names here on the left-hand side. And then you choose your budget per day. It can be anything you want. So I don't know, maybe you want to do $10 per day, for example. And keeping in mind that this is getting this video in front of people's eyeballs, so whatever you think would be a good amount per day to get some exposure. We were seeing a cost per view anywhere from 12 to 14 cents right now, as I've been looking at the current statistics. That could change, but that's a good indication of what you're looking at. Maybe a little bit more expensive if you're in a higher competitive area. And we will choose to have them go evenly over time. Now what you want to do is ideally choose your city location to get the most relevant views for the property listing you have. So I'm going to type in York, PA and select add. Okay. Then you'll choose your video. Make sure that you are linked up with your YouTube account. If not, you just need to go grab the YouTube URL and paste it in here. You can actually link by selecting this button right here, and that'll walk you through linking up. It's very simple to do that. So I'm going to look for our pre-roll video, and here it is. And then you're going to select let me choose, remove in display, and in search, and also remove Google Display. You just want it to have YouTube videos and Instream checked. Your display URL, actually start with the destination. So take your landing page. We're using our Google Plus page here. And then your display will be, make sure you start with the domain. It always has to include that. Anything after the / can be whatever you want. So I can make this 144 Highland Road. And your ad name, this can be whatever you want it to be. This is for your own tracking purposes. This is where we'll upload that banner that Ryan's created the site for, where you do the 300 by 60 ad, and this will show in top right corner above a video. So even when the video is done playing, I believe that people can still click that. It'll remain there for a while. So that's powerful, because even if they neglect to click on your ad while they're watching, they might see that banner while they're still playing around in YouTube and click it later. So it's good to upload this, and Ryan's made it really easy to create the banner, and then we'll just take that image and pop it in there. Okay, and you can see what it looks like, and this might change a little bit. I think we might even be able to customize the background color at some point, but this gives you an idea of what you're looking at right there. And then schedule, you can have it end anytime you want. Another thing you can do, if you'd like, up front, is you can edit your time. So if you want this only to run, for example, from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., you can do that and then hit OK. Do that for each day. Okay, and that's something you might want to consider. Are your higher quality customers going to be during that time of early morning to late evening? Are there specific time frames you want to go for? And you can choose. Of course, the more limited you make this, the less views you might get, and you might not even hit your budget if you make this too restricted, so just be careful with that. Once you make your changes, click Save. two options. You can optimize for views and also optimize for conversions. I actually created two different campaigns you can see right here. So the process I'm going through, I just did the same exact thing for both, except one I optimized for views, the other one I optimized for conversions. So this is where you would change that, and I would recommend running two different campaigns to see how they run. I'll let you know what results we get. We're still running a test on that, but let's start with optimize for views. You can have no cap on impressions, which is probably the best to do, or if you'd rather only have your users see your ad a certain amount of times per week, each individual user, you can make it like 5 times per week or 3 times or whatever you choose. Okay, I'm not going to use any cap. And then here, what I've noticed so far is that mobile devices have a lot less engagement, almost half the engagement of desktop. So if you don't want to use mobile, then you can do decrease by 100%, and that'll ensure that you're not showing to mobile ads, to mobile devices. If you'd rather just have the extra exposure, then don't do anything there. For the sake of example, I'm going to decrease by 100%. If you notice you're not getting enough views in a day, and you have a pretty good demographic or area that you're covering, you can always remove this, and I'll show you where to do that later. Before I click save and continue, one other thing I did want to point out with the targeting, you can do a radius around a city or a location. So let's say that your city has a very small reach. Like this says 58,000, which is pretty good, but let's say it's much smaller. Something you could try testing, or just do a separate campaign either way and test to see which one works better. Running to, like for my example, I would run to York, PA as one campaign, and then maybe I'd want to test another one that does a radius targeting, and I would do a 20-mile radius around York, PA. And you can see, well, that's way too big, of course. Let's do 7 miles. Okay, that's nice, because that at least triples. And you know, these people outside of York might still be relevant, so that's something to consider. I could even do 5, and I'm still probably going to double what I'm doing here. And if you wanted to do a radius like that instead of the city itself, you select add once you choose your, and see it, then it highlights that whole entire area. That's how you would do that. If you do a radius like that and it's bigger than what they consider to be that city, your city, you can just remove that and then just have the radius. Okay, but for this example, I'm just gonna do York, PA without a radius. So I'll read that. I'm gonna re-add that. I'm gonna remove that radius that I just created there. Okay, and that's how you would do that. Once all these details are done, click save and continue. Now we're going to do our targeting groups. There's two types of targeting we're going to do. We're going to always skip out on searching, so you can uncheck that in both instances. One is going to be topic, and one is going to be interest. Topic means people are viewing videos about the topics you choose. For example, if you chose real estate, someone that's watching a real estate related video right now will see your ad. Interested in means people that are more consistently interested in, so those who watch real estate related videos a lot more frequently will fall into this category. So first we'll build our targeting group around topic, so we'll call it topic. I recommend usually getting to the higher end of what they recommend. So they're saying 21 cents, you know, you could do anywhere from like 17 to 21. I think 21 is pretty reasonable, and you're not going to pay that much. It'll just ensure that your ads are displayed more frequently. And we're going to select edit by topic. That's what we're focusing on first. I'm going to show you some of the ones that I've used. There might be other stuff in here as you dig. There's a whole bunch of different options. So use what you think is best for your scenario. But I do recommend doing these because I've done a campaign where I didn't use any of this targeting. I just did everyone, and the results weren't as good as far as I can see. Okay, so we can add the whole thing of real estate. I'm just going to add all of that. I went to home and garden, selected the plus sign. I chose domestic services, home appliances, considering that if people are looking up these kind of videos, then obviously they own a home or are thinking about owning one. Home improvement, kitchen and dining. I went up to finance here. I did, let's see here. You have to select all these boxes that I just did there to get down to loans. It's underneath credit and lending. Home financing, I added that one. And then I also did home insurance. So I got 8 topics there. You can see them all right here. Okay, Click done when you are comfortable with all the viewing about that you chose. I also here the only thing that I did remove was 18 to 24. You could keep all if you want, because as you choose such a targeted list of things, most likely these are going to be homeowners. So even though it says 18 to 24, there might be some 20 to 24-year-olds that own a property that fall into this. So you could keep that. I'm going to uncheck it just because that's kind of on the low end of our demographics that we would target in real estate. I know means that YouTube doesn't really know because they're not logged in or something. So you can uncheck or keep that checked. I'm just going to remove 18 to 24, keep everything else the same. And then that's about it. That's all we need. And then we'll save this targeting group. Now it says less than 250 views per day, but you know, if you're doing a $10 budget, you should, well, with 58,000, like as my target said, definitely going to hit that based on what I'm seeing already. So you know, you'll get exposure even though it shows you being kind of in that red spectrum that we saw there in the graph. Now we'll create one more target. So go back to the target tab here, and this time we're going to create that again for interests. So we'll call this one interests. We'll do exactly the same stuff we just did in the other ad, except we're going to remove this, except this time we're going to focus on interest. And then this is set up just a little bit differently. Then topic, you have to scroll the whole way down, hit other categories. This is where you'll find real estate. You can add that, and home and garden. Some of the things that were in the other one are not in this one. Okay. Finance, banking, credit and lending, loans. Home financing we'll add. And then the other one is underneath. Actually, I don't think they do insurance on this one. Oh, there it is. Home insurance. Okay, so we got 8 again. And there might be some other stuff up here. Again, I didn't go through all this stuff. I took an overview of what I thought was relevant. So I'm going to click done. You can see if there's anything else you'd like to use. And again, I'm just going to remove 18 to 24. Click done. And that's it. Save targeting group. And you are ready to go. Now, as you can see, it says under review, here, if any problems occur, this will show red, and it'll have a explanation, this little bubble, and you'll get an email. Following our guidelines, you should be okay, unless your website that you're testing, you know, something different than a Google page, for example, and you find out that site doesn't work for Google, then you might have to do a Google Plus page or something else, because we did run into that issue. It can take anywhere from 24 to 48 hours for this to be approved. For me, it only took, I think, 12 to 18, which, you know, all said isn't that bad. So you can come back and check in. Also, keep in mind when your ad is launched, change this to today, or today, so that you're actually seeing current results in your statistics. Otherwise, it'll look like nothing is happening once it is launched. So that's how you build your campaign. Next video, we'll start digging into performance and how things have been working for me and some of the split testing I did, so you can get a better feel of the results that we achieved and what you can aim to do to have success as well.